Hi, I'm Klaus from Coffee Collective, and today I'm gonna give you a short tutorial on how to brew espresso. First off, unlock your portafilter and knock out any old coffee you might have in there. Then clean your filter basket with a soft cloth, making sure that there's no old coffee and no moisture sitting inside of there. We're gonna be measuring the weight of everything, the coffee coming in and the amount of brewed liquid we're gonna get out. So you need a set of scales. Gonna place our portafilter on top of the scale and tare it, and then we're gonna grind the coffee into here. After grinding, I'm gonna put it back on the scale and check what my dose is. And I'm trying to achieve 19.0 grams. I'm gonna manually make sure that I get to 19.0. This was a dose of 19.5. Most grinders on the market are gonna shoot out coffee towards one side of your basket, maybe towards the middle like this. So we're gonna need to distribute this coffee so we have the same amount everywhere inside the coffee puck. You can use a distribution tool like the Barista Hustle Autocomb or Weber's beautiful distribution tool, or you can use your finger. Begin by pushing the coffee towards the side where you're lacking coffee the most, creating this little mound of coffee. You're gonna move that around the edge because that's where the holes are that you need to close out. Don't lift and push down the coffee. Let the weight of the coffee itself fill out the gaps, going back to where we began and then level out towards the end. And on that final swipe is where I determine how much coffee I should leave and how much I should take off to get to my 19.0 gram dose, which we hit here. Now the coffee is evenly distributed, same amount throughout the bed. Now we need to tamp the coffee so it can resist the hard pressure coming out of the espresso machine. In our coffee shops we use a puck press, this automatic tamper. It's quite an expensive piece of machinery to buy at home, so I'll be using a manual tamper for this. With a manual tamper, what is most important is that you tamp evenly. So a good trick is to put it down kind of gently. Use 3 fingers on each side of the tamper and feel the distance between the tamper and the filter basket, so you can make sure it's even. You can also lift both things up and check that it looks even all around. Once you got it even, put the tamper down and give it a harder press. Don't worry too much if you're pressing 10 kilos or 20 kilos. It should be sufficient that all the air is pushed out between the particles. Before inserting the portafilter in your machine, wipe off the rim and the ears here. Then be careful before you lock in the portafilter that you don't disrupt what you just made sure is completely nice, even and compacted here. Also make sure to give your machine a bit of a rinse, washing out any old coffee residue, but also to heat it up a little bit. Insert the portafilter carefully and start brewing immediately. I'm brewing a double espresso here and I'm aiming for about 38 grams of brewed liquid. So that's a 1:2 ratio, which is a great starting point for our kind of espressos. But like any recipe, it's only a guidance, it's only a starting point. You need to know your equipment, need to dial this in depending on your taste preferences. What I'm aiming for is about 27 seconds extraction time, and that's counted from when you begin the extraction to from when you hit the button here until you have the final amount brewed. Now this machine has built-in scales. If you don't have that, then get a small espresso scale that'll fit underneath your machine. Going by either side is generally not the best idea. You need precision to be able to extract the best flavors here. Now, this espresso shot that I just pulled ran in 25 seconds. So a bit faster than what I want to achieve. I'm still gonna taste it and probably enjoy it. Yeah, it's good, but I think I can coax out a little more sweetness rather than the acidity that this one is giving me. So I want to get it to run at 27 seconds. Now there's basically 4 things that can alter your extraction time. The first one is the grind size. If you grind finer, the brew will be slower. If you grind coarser, it'll be faster. Just think about the resistance that the particles are gonna give pushing back towards the water. The second one is your dose. If your dose varies, let's say from 18.5 to 19.2 grams, you're gonna have faster or longer running times. Again, because of the resistance that the coffee is gonna provide. So you wanna make sure you use your scale to have an even dose every time. The third one is your distribution. Now distribution is very tricky. It's one of the things that can cause channeling if it's done badly. And channeling is water that will just push around the particles and make a path of less resistance into your cup. And that'll create a kind of watery and astringent espresso for you. So you want to make sure your distribution is carefully and it's done the same way every time. The final thing is the tamping pressure. Again, if that varies, if you're tamping light one time, you're going to see the shot running fast, and then you push heavy, you're going to see it run slow. So try to be very even with that. Your only variable should be dialing in on your grinder, adjusting the grind size. So because this shot ran a little bit fast, 25 seconds, I'm going to go back, I'm going to grind a little bit finer, and I'm going to repeat the process until I'm happy. And this is basically what dialing in is. During brewing, I like to observe the shot and observe the stream, seeing that there's no indication of channeling and seeing that the flow goes from kind of slow and increases in speed throughout. Perfect. 27 seconds, 19 grams in, 38 grams out. Let's give it a taste. Before enjoying your espresso, I really recommend give it just a good stir 3 times up and down, so you mix all the different layers of the coffee and break up the creamer a little bit. Enjoy. Really good. Much more sweetness, much more tropical fruit, kind of a chocolatey finish. Really lovely, thick, rich texture in it, which I love in espresso. I think it's one of the things that sets espresso apart from any other brew method is the tactile feeling that it can have. The oiliness, the intensity of it, the strength is about 8 times stronger than a filter coffee. I hope that showed you a little bit about how we brew espresso. I could easily talk about this for 3 hours as I do on our espresso courses for our own baristas, but I think this will do for now. Thank you for watching. Ciao.